If you've been thinking of starting a photography business and scaling up from the ground up, then that's a great idea, and I'm going to be walking you through how you can scale a photography business from the absolute ground up to actually reaching the $100,000 mark, the $1 million mark eventually. So why would you listen to me? First of all, I started as 10 years old, just found an interest in photography. I just loved how taking pictures made me feel. I started on a phone. I used my mom's phone. I always took pictures of events. I always took pictures of people. I always took pictures of what was going on. I captured the moment. I learned storytelling from a young age. But it didn't end there. At 12 years old, I started taking pictures at my church. I started actually giving back to the community, giving back to people, giving back to everyone, and I actually loved doing it. I wasn't the best. I was 12 years old, listen up, but I was gaining skill, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I was building a high income monetizable skill, and I just kept progressing because I had this passion. I was doing photography consistently as much as possible. I just loved it. I would do it every day if I could, but I didn't have a camera, so I was using the church cameras every Sunday. I would take pictures and I enjoyed the moment. Next thing, 14, I got a camera, my first camera, as a birthday gift. It was a Canon M50 with the kit lens, but it was the zoom kit lens, so the 18 to 150 millimeter. So that was a good lens. I started doing sports photography. I started bringing my camera to church, and I started taking pictures of portraits, events, people, parties, everything. I was 14. I didn't charge anything at the time. I just did it because I loved it, and I continued to progress in it. I continued to become better. I didn't realize that I was building a skill at the time. I just continued to do my absolute best. 16 comes, I got a new lens, the 50mm f1.8. I was so good to the point where people literally came up to me. They wanted pictures. They made sure they were in my frame of reference. They made sure they knew me. They really just wanted pictures. And then I got so good to the point where I started editing. I actually started editing a while back, but then I really started to dabble in Lightroom and all these eventually, and this led to me becoming pretty renowned. I was pretty known in the area. People loved my photos. My photos were amazing from the perception of others, and of course I believe my photos looked good. So that's when I started my photography business. I launched my business. I did advertising. I made flyers. I handed them out, and it was quite a success from the beginning. It was an insane success, but I'm 16. At my age, this was progress. So how do you actually start a photography business, and how do you level up? The first step is gear. Just learn and grow in gear. Just learn your gear. You have to understand that when it comes to photography, skill is way more important than what camera you have. You just need to have the right skills. You need to learn how to compose an image, how to edit. You need to learn how to take a picture. You need to learn your camera settings. You should be shooting in manual as a photographer. You can't be shooting on automatic, because what's the point then? It's just like shooting on a phone. So you have to learn manual, and you have to become a professional at your settings. Once you become a pro at your camera, you should know your camera from back to front, in the menu, everything. You should know where everything is, and you should know how everything works. Once you learn your camera and you actually become a master at photography, a master at your camera, now you can move on to the next stage. Now you have to pick a niche, whether you want to do sports photography, whether you want to do portrait photography, event photography, wedding photography. There's so many different genres of photography. You can even do car photography. So you have to find the niche that you like, the niche that you genuinely like. You have to find the niche that you're good at. For me, it was portrait and event photography. I also did sports photography, but that's besides the point. My main focus was just event photography and portrait photography. So once you find your niche, now you can, level up. You can't really just try and be a jack of all trades and, learn every single niche and, offer every single niche for clients, because you just look silly. Just become the absolute best at your niche. Let's say you want to become an event photographer or a wedding photographer. Be the best event photographer in your town. Be the best portrait photographer, wedding photographer in your city. Be the absolute best. Once you reach this point of just being the absolute best, that's when you can charge whatever you want. That's when you can you have access to whatever clients you want. To build a portfolio, I really recommend having a website, but you can just start from social media. Just have a place where you can showcase your images, have a place where you can just post your images and people can see them, because sometimes people might be scrolling on social media, they might see your pictures and they might be interested in hiring you. So you must have a portfolio, whether it's a website or whether it's a social media. I recommend doing both, but in the beginning just start with social media. Once you have social media, that's 100%. You're almost there. That's 99%. Eventually you want to start a website though, to showcase your own photos. Now you can start charging because you've worked on your skills, you've mastered your gear, and you have a portfolio. So now you can actually start charging. You can get clients in. Now you have to evaluate your skill set, you have to evaluate your gear, you have to evaluate everything and kind of come up with like a figure. Kind of come up with like something, a number of which you're worth, what you can charge per hour, what you can charge per event. Once you've evaluated how much you're worth, now you can actually start charging people and making clients. But in the beginning, I don't recommend you charging like what you're worth. First, you can charge slightly lower, because it's actually more important and more valuable to build a consistent client base than it is to just try and maximize income already. It's actually more advantageable if you can actually focus on building your clientele, focus on building consistent, reliable clients. So you can charge slightly less so that you can just pull in clients like crazy. And then once you've established your client base, then you can start to increase your prices. You can start to push your prices where you want them to be. So you have to really focus and think, do you want to be moving volume? Do you want to consistently move insane amounts of clients? Or do you want to go for a more artistic approach? Do you want to be worth a lot more? You have to evaluate your gear. If you want to maybe have 2 or 3 clients a month, but then these are high income clients where you can really focus on editing, where you can really focus fine details, where you can really put in your best. Or do you just want insane amounts of volume? Do you just want to work with like, let's say 10 to 15 clients a month, but then it's moving volume? You're not really focusing specifically on editing, and you're not focusing crazy on anything particular. Once you have clients, you can start to advertise. The best way is just really, for me at least, it's just word of mouth, other people hearing about what you've done for them. It's so much more valuable than you really just using ads. But then in the beginning, you need ads, you need to like hand out flyers. Advertising doesn't have to be expensive. Like you can get TikTok ads, you can do YouTube ads, Instagram ads. They're super cheap. So you can do ads and you can do flyers. You can print like 1,000 flyers for like $100. It's not even expensive. So you can print thousands of flyers and then just hand them out to whoever seems somewhat interested, so that they have your contact details. If you hand out 1,000 flyers to people who are somewhat interested, eventually you maybe have like, let's use the 1% rule. You have 10 clients from that, and then now you've got 10 word of mouth clients that can spread your photography across the area, across the community. So once you've just got that dialed in, you actually have consistent client base. You really would just want to talk to friends and family. Make sure that they know that you're a photographer. Make sure that they can tell other people about your work, because you actually be surprised. Friends and family and just word of mouth can get you a whole bunch of clients. And once you've got that consistent clientele base, then you're literally good as a photographer. If you have, let's say, 25 consistent clients, then it means that birthday parties, events, Christmas, all of these different events, then you've just consistently got this income flowing. And it's actually not that hard to scale up. But if you want to really reach high levels of income, then you have to use ads, you have to use websites, and you have to use social media to your advantage. Now it's time to really expand your income. So you realize as a photographer, you won't really make insane amounts of money just taking pictures and just editing. No, that's not the business. Printing is your business. You have to make friends at the printer shop. You have to make friends who can print canvases for you, because you want to charge way less so that you are making enough profit. So you want to really make connections with the guys who print, canvases, the guys who make the photo collages. Maybe you can just get the frame, you can print photos, you can make a collage, and you can actually make insane amounts of money from just printing, not even taking photos. So what you want to do with one client is you want to take photos, you want to edit them, you want to send them back, and then you can take printing orders from them. You can take canvas prints, you can take, you know, even mug prints, even keyring prints. Just get as much prints. You can make insane amounts of money, and there's insane opportunity. If your photos are genuinely good, there's no reason why people won't want prints. So you have to use prints to your advantage to really expand your income as a photographer. You have to do picture videos, and you can even do digital collages that you can add as a bonus so that you can boost the price. But a digital collage, you can use Canva to make that, and really there's no excuse. As a photographer, you're sitting on money. Literally, if you become really good at photography, you're sitting on money. There's no reason for you not to be able to make money. I would say don't do this on your own. Get a team of, you know, people who are on the same level of photography as you, maybe people who are on a higher level of photography, and just go under their wing, learn from them, and really just work with them. If you can work with multiple photographers, let's say 2 to 3 other photographers, you can expand your client base to the point where you genuinely have a full-fledged side hustle. And outside of side hustle, you can actually turn this into a full-fledged business. Thanks guys for watching. Good luck on your photography journey.